culture, the environment, or all other stuff. So today there's a company in US named Gravity Payment, and this company is having a problem where when they were offering lucrative compensation package to their employees, but they were facing crisis. Whether is it a workable strategies to work at? Before I move on, I would like to introduce my team. We are UMG Consulting Group. I'm Emily. This is Joanne, Zue, and Jenny. To ease the flow, we would like to start our presentations with a big picture of our case, followed by case analysis, and then we will provide strategies and propose a recommendation accordingly to produce the overall impact that has been intended by the company. So let's get started. The overall strategy intent of the entire case is talk about how to help Gravity Payment to achieve growth by using effective talent management. So the question is how and what. So here comes, we have three objectives. The first one is to retain, recruit, and motivate employees. Secondly is to have customer loyalty. And thirdly, we would like to protect the shareholders' wealth of Gravity Payment. So then we will move on to see what kind of challenges that have been faced by Gravity Payment for the moment. After they have offered this payment, right after the announcement, there have been questions of unfair wage treatment because they were offering increment of wage mostly to the lower level employees. So there were questions about whether this increment in lower level management would affect the motivations of higher level managers. And secondly, there will be customer complaints. There were customers that were afraid that their customer privilege will be affected due to the increment in salary. First thing is that the customer would like a reliable, a worryless, and low-cost payment solution from Gravity Payment, and they were afraid that this will affect their customer fees in overall. And thirdly, there were lawsuits by shareholders, where these shareholders has 30% of shares, and he raised a lawsuit due to the increment of salary because they were afraid that the wealth and the profitability of the entire company will be affected. And then there will be risk of business operation because there were no funding options if the director is going down. So let's have a look on strategies that we have prompt. In order to achieve these three strategies, which is to retain, to recruit, and motivate employees, we will have transparent recruitment process for the company, and then the company should have training and development intensively for the employees, and also offer motivated and also reward structure for the employees. And in order to achieve the objective of customer loyalty, the company should have intensive public relations to clarify that the company will be able to manage the low cost offer for customer while offering lucrative compensations package for employees. And by using public relations and customer service improvement, it is foreseeable that the customer loyalty will be retained. And thirdly, the shareholders' wealth, where when there is lawsuit, it is better for the customer to keep their low profiles on the court. So we would like to suggest Gravity Payment to have out-of-court settlement. There were so many strategies here, and the feasibility of these strategies are still being questioned. Let's have Junlin to analyze more about it.
Good morning. So I will simplify the process because by doing a very simple case analysis, actually by increasing the minimum wage of the employees, actually will affect the stakeholders. What kind of stakeholder will be affected? Firstly, about the consumer, the employees, and also the public, shareholder, and also the competitors. Okay, so you can see a green line and a red line. Okay, the red line actually is quite negatively affected, but the green line actually is positively affected. Because employees actually, you increase our wages, actually increase our spending power. But the top executive is not increasing because even it's a minimum wages. So, and other than this is about maybe it's a non-cash rewards, it's not specific in the case. Okay, the next one is about public. So we are actually like bridging the income gap in the nation. Okay, so this one is to provide another social impact in the public. The next one is about shareholder. The shareholder is like is not better off because you're increasing the cost of business. So that this might affect the profitability of the business. So next about the competitors. Competitors will bring to more pressure because one company is increasing the wage. So the other competitors might think that is it a move they have to do to increase their wage to gain some more talented person in the public. And last one is about the customer. So the customer actually will be my question. Is it a increasing of the cost will be lead to the increasing of the price they have to consume, or increasing of the cost of the in this is it will be increasing their quality. Okay, so next. So by using a matrix, okay, between the value and the execution, okay, so we can identify some of the strategy that might be easily implementing by this company and create a big value in the company. Okay, so basically we are choose more according to the HR policy by having a transparent recruitment process, the compensation and reward structure, as well as the training and development practice in the company. Okay, this will further explain my teammates.
So, in order to achieve our strategy as to recruit, retain, and also to motivate our employees, the first strategy that we have will be the transparent recruitment process. And most of the important components in the recruitment process will be starting from the publicity and also the pre-screening and also the interview. So because Gravity payment, they already have a higher minimum wage compared to the industry wage. So they already attract some people to go to their company. So the important component in their recruitment process will be the pre-screening and also the interview process. So what we can do in the pre-screening process is this resume screening, in which it's a time for them to eliminate and also filter some background and skill of the potential candidate to their company. So the next one will be the psychological test, in which this test will actually know what kind of personality is the candidate, and also how well they suit the environment and also their work job scope in their company. So the next will be the interview process, where they will have the evaluation criteria. Because interview process is a very important where you can see the actual behavior and the commitment of the candidate toward their work. So we need to have a very clear spelled out criteria for the interviewers to have to evaluate their potential candidate. And why we choose this strategy will be because we can target the suitable candidate for our company. So they will result in having the correct people in the correct position. Therefore, there's the place for them to grow. And the next will be portraying the exclusive image for the company, as they will have, as Gravity is a company where they will have proper and also quality recruitment process. So, and because of the quality that other people perceive from us, it will attract more talent and confidence of the stakeholder towards Gravity. And it will reduce the employee turnover, which will reduce the cost of the company. And what are the challenges that may face by Gravity payment by adopting this strategy? There will be the challenges where they will target the wrong pool of talents, which the filtering of the background is different. It is not effective and the skill is not compatible. And for the HR competence on really selecting and getting the correct potential candidates, because everybody will have a different judgment. So it's really very a judgmental process where Gravity may face. And the cost and the risk associated with this strategy is a very time consuming, as you want to have a very stringent and long process of screening. And also the last one, it will have reducing their hunting cost. And so the last one will be the outcome of this strategy. We will choose the correct candidates for the correct position, resource utilization, as every resource is the cost for the company. So we need to utilize all the resource and integrate them together for a common purpose. And also having the correct people, they will reduce the employee turnover and reduce the recruitment fee. So let's have Joanne to talk about the second strategy.
Motivating and retaining our employees. So we need to manage employees using these three components of this strategy. First, we need to build an understanding working environment. Based on the case of this Gravity company, they have a lot of applicants increasing. So we can expect that an intermediary platform will have more Gen Y applicants because it involves the use of technology. We need to understand how Gen Y and what they need and what they want from the company. Next, we need to provide them a flexible time for working because Gen Y wants to integrate life and work. So for example, if we can integrate my life schedule and my working schedule, if I have gym on Wednesday afternoon and I tell my company about that and they can exclude me during 1 hour for the gym from my working schedule, that is what we call as integrating life and work. Next, enhancing the transparency and communication of the goals. So the employees should know what goals the companies want. We should have a very transparent system that allows all employees to know what is going on. Therefore, we suggest to have goals of the day or goals of the month so that our employees are motivated to achieve them every day. Regarding the transparency, we can enhance transparency through websites or any platform that can allow employees to communicate with each other and also the board of directors. Means if there is a platform, interactive platform, where if employees have any question, they can use the website to communicate with the management. For example, if the management does not have the time to do so, they can install an artificial intelligence, which we call the chatbot, that can address the issues and questions of the employees. Next, about the good compensation and reward policies. There can be extrinsic or intrinsic policies. For extrinsic, we can use bonuses that measures what kind of value do our employees deliver to our customers. For example, how many banks do they relation with when they come to this kind of transaction, and how many settlements do they make after the transaction. Next is about intrinsic. What kind of intrinsic, which is non-monetary value that we can deliver to them. For example, if a career growth, employees are interested in their long-term growth or in the company, so we can have the website that they already have and allow them to update on their blog and what kind of things they want from the company. So we can track what career growth they want and address them from that. The reasons is we need to further build and strengthen the intellectual capital of the company, creating a competitive environment in the company itself, increasing employees' loyalty, and reducing costs of the long term as according to the scale of efficiency. As time goes by, cost of employees will actually reduce due to their familiarity and their productivity increase. So what kind of challenges do we have when we implement this strategy? It's about the imbalance of return and productivity against the cost. So we might incur a lot of costs when it comes to this kind of reward and compensation. What kind of productivity and KPI do we get after that? So that's the challenge. And employees might demand more when we give them more. So they already have this kind of expectation, and we will have to address that. And the last one is the attitude of the employees. So we need to look at what kind of attitudes do Gen Y have and what kind of attitude do Gen X have, and address that accordingly. What are the costs that are incurred? So the cost of training and development, cost of rewards, and there are possible dilution of shareholdings, because if we associate bonuses to shares and shareholders, their EPS might be reduced. And last one is the failure of motivation, where we might not able to motivate our employees. So the outcomes are we will have the lower cost, greater customer satisfaction, as well as the improved skills of and intellectual capital. Next, we will have.
So by having these two strategies as planning by my teammates, okay, this possibly is our recommendation for this company. Okay, firstly about the transparent recruitment process, and second one is the employees management. So this recommendation is very important in gravity to actually ensure for us to achieve the objective we stated just now. Right. So let me present to you the very general framework of how we should implement this strategy. Okay, firstly, we must have a very clear organization structure, the autonomy structure, because we must have this kind of clear vision and mission, and also what kind of common shared goal in the companies, so that the employees should know when they enter a company or before the recruiting process. Okay, so a company should know what a company is doing. Okay, so what kind of achievements the company is going to achieve, is planned to achieve in future, for example. Okay, so after that, actually we have to understand the needs of employee. Okay, so the incentive of cash is not only the basic needs of the employees' needs. Okay, the motivation of the employees is huge. Okay, they want a lot of things to actually motivate them to do the work. Okay, so we have to understand the needs of the employee. And the next one is about design a proper recruit and motivate and retain strategy. Okay, firstly we have to recruit employees, so we must motivate them, and after that we have to retain the employees, because we have to understand the recruiting cost is very high. Once you recruit a member or you recruit an employees, you have to provide training. Training is part of the cost as well. So it's a better way to retain the employees, because they are talent that you seek for. Okay, instead of for them to lay off, for example. Okay, so next we must have an evaluation criteria. So we have the evaluation program to evaluate the strategy that you implemented in the company. Because evaluation is very important to identify the perspective of the strategy. Is it have a loopholes, or is it really have some lagging indicator inside? So we have a four perspective to evaluate. So firstly, it's about the learning and growth of the company, of the employees. Okay. Second one is about the internal business process. The third one is about the customer, and the last one is about the financial perspective. So we have these four perspectives, and the last implementation stage is about the corrective measure. Okay, after you evaluate, okay, so you find the weaknesses. So you have to corrective measure to improve the weaknesses of the company. So these are the strategy map that I propose to you. Okay, learning and growth, internal business process, customer and financial. Okay, firstly, why the talent is very important? Because we have to invest in learning and growth. So increasing of the talents, increasing of the skills, increasing of motivation actually will lead to the efficiency of internal business process. Okay, and it will lead to a very good customer service. So by having very good customer service, so you are increasing your customer base. Okay, so the acquisition rate for the customer to convert to a long-term customer base is high. So when you're having a very good customer, and a long-term customer base for a company, so you have to achieve revenue. So the revenue will turn into profitability. So these are all the strategy maps that we propose to you. Why the learning and growth is important. Okay. So basically, we have to analyze the overall risk in this implementation or in this strategy. So firstly, it's about the business operation cost. So once you're increasing, for example, the minimum wages, for example, or you have some program to increasing the cost, okay, the rewards, for example. So you get the business operation. But it turns out you have the mitigation plan is it turns out you have a very good revenue and very good goodwill, okay, for the company. Okay. So the next one is about risk or reluctance in taking a higher responsibility. When you having a very good high wage for the company, okay, some of the employees is like I don't want to take a higher responsibility in manager role because they're having a very good very burden job scope for them. So maybe the money or the salary is enough for them. So they have this kind of thing where it happen in the company. But the mitigation plan is about this serves as an opportunity and exposure for the employees to explore themselves, okay, to climb the ladder of success. So this is very depending on how the CEO to convince the employees, okay. So what are the impacts of this strategy, of this recommendation? Firstly, by increasing our revenue and then reducing our cost, and we have to improve the friendly environments. So we have a clear social impact, and so we have a bridging the income gap because we get a free advertising channel for this company. Thank you very much.
back to the first slide where you, I think first or second slide, where you identify some challenges. Okay. Firstly, one question is about Dan Price. When he introduced the minimum wage of 70k, what was his main reason for doing that?
I'm sorry, can you repeat?
What was his main reason to introduce a minimum wage of 70k?
Okay. According to the case, the minimum city wage is actually around 31k. So in this case, it actually 135% exceed what is the requirement of the city. So why the director would like to increase their minimum wage to minimum of 70k is because they want to, the director itself has a very personal conflicting interest in himself. It's actually a personal opinion about the income gap between the richer and the medium gap. So he thinks that it's unfair for the richer to get rich, the rich to get richer, and the medium level income group is trapped in that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's a very personal thing for him. That, you know, he felt that it was just not fair. So it was not driven by internal problems like trade unions or people complaining about low wage or bad working environment. It wasn't about that. Okay.
Yes, it was.
Then we turn to the challenges. From that, what would you say was the biggest challenges that the company is facing now?
The unfair wage treatment that has been minimized here is that they think that it's unfair to have increment in wage in lower level but not the top executives.
Okay, so maybe the first one is your biggest concern? Okay, then we look at your solutions. You're talking a lot about recruitment processes, about retention, about Gen Y, Gen X training. So all this solution, what does it solve? Does it solve the challenges you're raising here about unfair treatment, or does it solve the initial concern about Dan Price, about his personal concerns about wage differentiation? What does your solution try to address?
Firstly, the price actually then is concerning about the wage distribution, right? The income equality. Okay, but taking a further step, if the company want to grow, it's not only about increasing the wage of the employees. So the company is taking steps to grow the company. So when you're growing, they want to retain the employees. It's part of the problem. How do they retain the employees and motivate them in a first
That's
step?
what my first question was. Was there an internal concern from the case? Did it say that there was concerns about retention of employees, complaints from employees? Was this stated in the case?
Why are you looking at recruitment and retention? Is that a problem to this company today?
Because of price introduction of this minimum wage, it actually leads to some problem in their internal and also to the customer and also to the other stakeholder. So our main strategy is to tackle the talent management, in which they can, if we have a very strong employee base, we can do a very efficient operations for the gravity payment. So it will eventually leads to the customer satisfaction and also the financial growth of the company.
But
So
is that a problem to this company?
Yes.
Is this company facing a problem in recruiting people today? I mean, have there been complaints about the recruitment policies of this company? Has there been a problem with this company trying to attract good people?
They're having problem in attracting people because they have a lot of applicants, but most of them are based on quick bucks.
The minimum
Yeah, that's following.
increase, right? So that's a sequence. That's one of the.
Yes, after that, the applicants are most driven by quick bucks because they want to earn the high minimum wage. So we like to recruit the best one out of the applicants, which are not driven by mainly wealth, but we need to access what kind of skills do they have so that we can grow the company itself as well as to manage the talent.
What would you say if you were asked one challenge this company is facing today? One. What is the biggest challenge this company is facing?
For us, actually it's about the future. Okay, Once actually we increasing the minimum wages, actually increasing the cost of the internal business process. Okay, this is a threatened challenge in your company. Okay, when
So
you
you're
have
saying
this-
cost is the challenge?
Yes, when you have this kind of cost of challenge. So how to grow your business is one of the one
So very good. So you identified cost as a challenge. Has any of your staff talked about managing the cost to this company? If that, according to you, is the main challenge to this company, if that was the one challenge you asked to say cost, how do you address that? And what is it?
The reason why we were implementing the talent management is due to we would like to increase the efficiency in managing the talent now. As we know that they have to increase the minimum wage, so there will be increasing costs. However, if they can utilize the cost increment by recruiting the right people, so it could expand the.
What will you do with your existing people?
They will still, there are cases that, in this case they mentioned there were people that leave because of the increment, but it's not because that he's not being offered, but it's because that he thinks that there is no growth in the company that is driven by only incentive. So from the case, we found that the company should not only focus on incentive itself, but also motivate the company and
Completely agree. You just, I mean, as a group, do you agree that cost is a challenge to this company? I mean, do all of you all agree as a group that to this company, cost is a challenge? So what's your solution?
Can I add on? We know that the increasing cost is one of the problems that has existed after this offer. So the company is actually want to build growth, because when we know if the company is earning profit, has very good revenue, has a large customer base, the other stakeholders are being taken care, and that is why when the revenue is increased, the cost will be compensated and be balanced out. It will trade off the cost in a long-term aspect.
That's actually my following question, because throughout your presentation, which I appreciate, but most of the things are concentrated more on the incentives and this kind of recruitment, but there's not much mentioning on the cost control and also on the growth prospect. Like, what did you see how the company can grow for further?
Can I present the slideshow? Perhaps this one might solve your concern, because as we know, there is 3 objectives that we would like to achieve, and we think that by managing the talents well, it will actually increase the number of talents. It will increase the skills and also the motivations of talent by using the reward structure. So for the numbers of talents, it will actually increase efficiency, and in the long term, it will reduce the cost. They utilize the talents in the maximum scale, and then the revenue will be increasing, and in a very accounting way, the profitability is actually increasing. The increment is in revenue will offset the increment in cost.
How are you trying to fund the growth?
How do you grow the revenue for them?
You need to fund it, right?
Yes.
I mean, so if you want to take more people, you need more space to put them. You need to go and hire people and pay their wages until the business. So how are you going to fund your growth?
There is
Because actually, according to the case, there's some opportunity for the company to grow. Because the venture the capitalist actually value the company is much more value before a year and after a year ago. So there's an opportunity for the company to grow. Okay, so when a company having an opportunity, so we assume that we have a direction in growing this company. So we prepare for
The
the
company
future.
already said that it utilizes all its profits to fund this wage growth. That's what it will say, right? So there's no internal funds left. How are you going to fund the growth? I mean, we agree with whatever you're saying, okay? But you need money to start growing, okay? And to reach that profitability, you're saying. What's your plan to fund that for the next year, 2 years until you reach that thing? How are you going to manage that? What is your strategy?
I believe that for Gravity, they can get some
conferences or interviews are conducted to the CEO of the company. So this might create a reputation and it might makes the loan easier to get.
So our loans, so good.
Yeah, so what you mean, so sorry, because we all
Yes.
are working in the bank, right? So what you just saying is that the financial institutions, they offer loans to a company based on public relationship. Is that what you're saying?
Not
What do you
exactly
think is
100%
more
is
important
like
banks?
this. Okay, because we move a step back, okay, we understand. Actually, the revenue of the company actually is increasing from the case, okay, because the customer is increasing, the quantity of customers is increasing. Because customers switch from one provider to this gravity. So when you're having the increasing of the customer, so you want to having more employees to cater the employees, right? So this is a direction, the gravity having moving in this direction. So this is why we think that talent management is very important to cater the increasing of employees. So when you have increasing employees, so you will see the opportunity in this business. So you're trying to grow further. So we're trying to grow further. So as my teammate said, the borrowing is one of the financing structure the company can get. So maybe when we say qualification of criteria of getting a bank loans, I think not about just the reputation of the company, but it's about the internal business process, about the revenue, about the ratio analysis in the company, the how good they are doing. So this is so.
Have you done any analysis on how much the company needs to grow for it to again become profitable? I mean, do you have any? I mean, because you've not put it up, so I'm trying to understand your thought process. Do they need to grow the revenue by another 20%, 30%? Over what period of time are you looking at implementing this strategy?
The thing that in order to grow, for this industry, the growth rate of this industry is mainly 5% to 10%. So in order to achieve this 5% and 10%, we foresee that by using talent management, which are rather easy to execute than the other alternative, we can see that 5% growth might be able to achieve in 5 years' time.
Do you think this growth is sustainable? Why do people come to the company?
Let me have an example. So, as we know, Google provides a very good environment for most of the employees. They have a lot of benefits and privileges for their workers, and that's why many people are dreaming to go to Google to work in there. So that is an idea of talent management. When you are able to become a very
No, my question is, why do customers come to you? Why do you think that, okay, they said after this implementation of this minimum wage, there's been more business, more revenue. Is it sustainable? Why do customers come to this company?
the customer.
By having a right pool of talent in the company, I believe that from the perspective of operation, the customer relationship, they can actually create a very competitive advantage for the gravity payment as they are paying for their customer. So in order for the customer to be attracted to our company, they are actually having gravity will need to offer the value that customer want. So
What is the value? What's this company offering?
Okay, because of this promoting the minimum wage, okay, in this public, actually is create a free advertising message to the public. Okay, because the public know this company. Maybe we can say before this, actually the public is very less awareness of this company. So after actually they know, they might try it because the cost of trying is really low. Once you try it, maybe you have a very large customer base.
The question asked is, what is the product this company is offering?
Payment solutions, they are offering payment solutions to small businesses to manage the payment with banks and financial institutions.
So as a customer, what am I concerned about when I come to your when I come to the company?
As we know, as a payment solutions, the targeted employee base will be the customer service, because if the employee will be able to provide a very good customer service, customer will be able to.
Okay, so I just want to follow up on that. So customer service is most important. Does price come into it? It doesn't come into it. Price is not concerned.
Okay, and on one more. Actually, when the customer chooses a product or service, maybe it's not looking on the quality or the price at the first place. It's because of the company reputation, for example. Okay, so for this company, when the employee actually is trying to use a service, okay, because maybe you can say this is a very competitive environment, have a very competitive price in it. So the cost of trying in this service is not very expensive. Once I try, maybe this is an opportunity that Gravity should grab to convert this company from short term to long term to be sustainable. So this is a direction that we want to create.